I had to think hard about that. The fact that we save lives, I mean, that's why we're here. We save lives, we save property. It's a noble industry. It's one we can be proud of. My participation, I guess, in NFPA 25 is one that I really reflect on, as I've been very fortunate to be a member of that committee since its inception. And I've been involved with that technical committee for up till today. And we did a lot of good things in order to maintain sprinkler systems, make sure they're going to be effective in a fire event. And so that's probably my biggest accomplishment, other than leading the E&S committee for 8 years. That was quite an accomplishment too. I was proud of that. I started in 1973 as a designer trainee with a company called Automatic Sprinkler Corporation of America. And we were like one of the 3 national companies at that time. Shortly thereafter, it came down to Automatic and Grinnell. But I was with Automatic for 22 years, and then Grinnell Fire Protection acquired Automatic Sprinkler, and I came with that acquisition. From a business perspective, the fact that I had to go through that acquisition, come over to Grinnell, and since then 2 mergers with Simplex and now with Johnson Controls. Every one of them came with their own challenges. You know, the people that we were merging with or being acquired by, they didn't know me in a lot of cases. But you know, through it all, it's been a good experience, but those were probably my biggest challenges. Keep true to yourself. You know, I think that's my biggest advice to anybody is, you know what you're good at, you know what you can do, you know what your capabilities are. They acquired your company, or they wanted to merge with your company because you had something to offer. And you're a person that is part of that company. So just be true to yourself, stay on your principles, and do the best job you can for whoever you're working for. I've been very fortunate since I came into this industry. I was actually in the industry before I was married. So when I married my wife, Robin, she was well aware of what I did at that time, and I was able to travel almost from the very beginning. As a designer being trained to go to job sites, I had to travel up and down the East Coast to go to different job sites and things like that. So she was very understanding of the fact that I'm going to be spending time away from home. I made it a point that unless there was something extraordinary going on, the weekends were my personal life. So I would go anywhere, do anything during the week, during the work week, but I really wanted to carve out those weekends to make sure I was there for my family and to support, you know, my family. Take my daughters to, you know, softball games, and so I didn't miss any of that stuff. But it's a challenge. You have to be dedicated to both, but you have to have an understanding family as well in order to make it happen. And I guess my biggest personal challenge that way, there was a point in time where I was working in West Virginia in a pretty nice position. Robin and we had one daughter at the time. It was a strange place, strange people. They weren't getting acclimated very well. And we had to make a decision whether I was going to stay in West Virginia and continue working in that office, or whether we were going to go back home. And we went back home, and it worked out. Well, it worked out, and that was about my biggest challenge as far as my career goes. Well, I'm a Christian, and so you know, my heroes are God and Jesus Christ. In the Bible, I love King David. He's one of my Bible heroes. When it comes to the industry, I always looked up to Russ Fleming. Russ Fleming, if you remember the old E.F. Hutton commercial, you know what E.F. Hutton says, you know, you need to listen. Russ was that way. When Russ talked, he didn't talk just to talk. He talked because he had explored the topic, he knew what he was talking about, he presented it very succinctly, and was very persuasive. There was very few people that had anything negative to say about when Russ would present something. So he's one of my heroes. And James Gollenveau, another one of my heroes. his movement through the industry and his influence in the industry is like nobody others. He's just a good guy. Be willing to work hard. Be willing to take advice. Be willing to do that life-work balance. Make sure you've got that taken care of. Have integrity. Say what don't be honest at all times. Do the right thing even when someone's not looking. Have integrity and represent your company to the best of your ability, but then represent the industry. And that there's a balance you have to do there as well. Because we're all together in the industry to save lives and property, and sometimes some of our little, challenges within our own companies get in the way of us putting good fire protection out there. And don't let that happen. Make sure that we're doing the best job for our customers and for the industry in protecting lives and property. I'm a morning person. I start my day with I read my Bible, I pray, and then I'm my most alert in the morning. So if I need I need to focus on getting something done that day, I have to do it first thing. I do all the mundane things in the afternoon, where it doesn't take a whole lot of thought process. But mornings are my best time, and that's when I can usually get the most work done. Well, now I have the perfect job. So I'm involved with the industry. I'm involved with lots of codes and standards committees. I pretty much make my own schedule. So it's a very rewarding job for me right now. Going back, I think what really gave me the most knowledge of sprinkler systems and so forth is when I was designing special hazard systems. I had an opportunity when I came back from West Virginia to be a special hazards designer and design water spray systems. That gave me the opportunity to understand hydraulics and pipe sizing. And that really leaped me forward into getting into more of the industry, the nuances of the industry, and gave me a great basis going forward. So I would say that's probably where I picked up my most knowledge at that time. Well, if it wasn't for the NFSA, I would say I would not be where I am today. I was very fortunate early in my career in the mid-'80s with Automatic Sprinkler Corporation. The person that was on the E&S committee representing our contracting side of the business was retiring. And somehow, some way, he identified me as the person that should fill his shoes. And so in 1988, I was appointed to the E&S committee. And that gave me the opportunity to get to know people in the industry, get to know the codes and standards and start participating in the codes and standards process. Without that opening that I received in 1988 to join that E&S committee, I'm sure I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am today. So I kind of owe it all back to that first appointment on an NFSA committee. And I've been on a lot of different NFSA committees over the years. And fortunately, they give me opportunities, and that's the most important thing for a young person. When you're presented with an opportunity, take it. It's not, you don't have to necessarily seek them out. They will seek you out if you're a good person, good worker. When you're given the opportunity, jump on it, and because you don't know where it's going to take you unless you do. It's like Wayne Gretzky says, you're not going to score a goal if you don't take a shot. I can't answer that. I don't know. I firmly believe that God directs our paths sometimes. He opens a door, and like you said, you have a choice to walk through it or not. I could not have scripted the way that my career has gone. If I had tried to plan it, 40 years ago or whatever it was, I couldn't have done it. I just, I feel like I was guided to do what I did through the Lord, and again, when the opportunities presented themselves, I took them, and It's been good. I wouldn't change anything. Well, definitely get involved in any way that you can. And you don't have to be necessarily on a committee to get involved. NFSA is very open. They encourage participation for guests. You know, you can come to just about any meeting that NFSA has as a guest and voice your opinion as long as you're, you know, an FSA member. And probably even some non-members. You know, I thought we've had non-members come to the table and give us some of their opinions as well. But, you know, definitely get involved, put yourself out there, share your knowledge. We have a lot of people that come to, you know, the E&S committee is a perfect example. They come to the E&S committee meeting and they just sit there like bumps on a log. And I'm like, well, why are you here? You're representing, you know, your area director, your company, and, you know, you're not contributing anything. You need to contribute. And NFSA recognizes that, and the people that contribute are the ones that are now their committee chairman, or, you know, they're assigned to other committees. So it's get involved and you know, share your knowledge through the NFSA. We all have our ideas of what we think is best, you know, based on our own limited knowledge or our experiences. When you come together as a committee, you're getting this group knowledge and these group experiences. And members of that group that committee are going to mention things that you never thought of. You know, I'd like to make this code change. Well, but if you make that code change, it could affect this over here or have this impact over there. It's like, yeah, I didn't think about that. So by having committees, we're able to talk out issues. We're able to, you know, come to a consensus in most cases. And it's better for the industry because we're not relying on, you know, one person's experience to drive codes and standards. No, I can't think of anything, Lanny. I just would, you know, give advice to any person coming into this industry. It's a great industry. You know, we do great things, saving lives and property. Not only that, you know, now we're looking at firefighters and the fact that they've gotten cancers from fires and they're getting killed running into buildings that aren't sprinklered when buildings collapse and things like that. So we're saving them as well. We're saving all the destruction that a fire causes that gets, you know, put into the landfills. You know, all those hose streams that are working on that fire, that's getting washed into the streams and the environment. So, you know, it's a great industry, and we have a great challenge ahead of us to fight fire. Fire's a terrible thing. And, you know, just understand what you do, what your part in all this is, and do your very best to contribute and use your knowledge and your energy towards making a better industry. I have no idea. I will say that, you know, one of the things that helped me with the family balance is my wife does travel with me quite a bit, and she enjoys that. So I get to experience a little bit of home while I'm traveling, but it's been very rewarding for both of us. Yeah, and that was one of the questions that was on there. Yeah, as far as success goes, I've never been one to try to measure my success. I have much more than I ever envisioned that I would ever have. I'm the kind of guy that I'm very satisfied with what I have. I don't, you know, want a lot of things. I feel very blessed with what I've had. And so success, I guess, is doing the best job you can possibly do and maybe get some recognition for it. But don't seek that recognition. It'll come your way if you deserve it. And satisfaction is just putting in a honest day's work and you know, being happy with what you're doing. If you don't like your job, find another one. I will tell you that. But some people measure success in how much money they make and how big their house is and how many boats they have. To me, that's not how you measure success. It's, do you feel satisfied in what you do? And if you feel satisfied in what you do, then you're a success. Defining gratitude, I am very grateful. I'm very grateful for, every position that I've had, every opportunity that I've had, whatever successes I've had, I'm very grateful for that. And I think that's something that's missing from too many people today, that they're almost like they can never be satisfied with, what they're doing or, where they are in life and things like that. I think everybody has something to be grateful for. And just having a job, a career, opportunities, I think there's a lot to be grateful just for that. But yeah, I praise God every day for what I do and how He's blessed me for it, and I'll continue to do that until the day I die. Well, I've only got one best friend in life, and that's my wife. I've had friends. I'm not a very social person. Those of you that know me from committee work and things like that, I don't go out at night and hang out and things like that. My co-workers, my peers, they're all friends of mine. But Robin, she keeps me straight. She's one of the things I have to deal with sometimes is my anger, and she keeps me, in line with my anger sometimes. But we just enjoy doing things together. I don't have any other friend like that. So she's my best friend. I guess the only thing I would add is, we all have common interests, and use the NFSA, use the people that you meet with the NFSA as people to communicate with as part of your business. Don't do what you do in a silo. There's so many good people in this industry that you can reach out to, bounce questions off of, seek advice. Take advantage of who those people are around you that you're serving on different committees with, or that you're, meeting at conferences or committee meetings, whatever the case may be, and just take advantage of this whole industry and use it for your own self-satisfaction in what you're doing. Most people in our industry thinks that things happen by magic. That NFPA 13, whatever goes in NFPA 13, there's this, deep, dark committee that makes all these different decisions and things like that. And that's not the way it is at all. Through the NFSA, as a member of the NFSA, or even as a guest coming to different meetings and things, you can have an input on things that you don't think are right, the way the codes are. Or maybe there's something in your area that, in legislation, that you don't think is correct. You can have a real influence on making changes based on your experience. And NFSA is one way to bring that to realization. Come out and get with us and learn how things work. It's not magic that these changes get taken place in codes and standards. It's through work from members of our association in a lot of cases. And so take advantage of that. Get involved. And we welcome all the outsiders to come in. Now, they're not really, I don't want to say outsiders, but people that aren't familiar with the processes. Come and learn, and we'll be glad to teach you. We don't want to keep any secrets amongst us. We're out here to do it together as an industry, and we want participation from whoever's willing to be with us.